So, welcome to the first session of Tomb of Annihilation. I'm your host, Luke Seymour, and I am here to take you through a bit of a path through the wild jungles of Chult, while dealing with a unscrutinable death curse that's travelling around, killing indiscriminately. That's a lie, actually. That's wrong of me to say. It's not killing indiscriminately. It's taking those that have been brought back from the dead. Specifically those that have come back from the dead have been slowly dying off. Death has started to claim back those that have received the miracle of reincarnation. For the past several days, the talk of the streets and taverns has all been about the so-called death curse, a wasting disease afflicting everyone who's ever been raised from the dead. Victims grow thinner and weaker each day, slowly but steadily sliding down the death they once denied. When they finally succumb, they can never be raised again, and neither can anyone else, regardless of whether they've ever received the miracle in the past. Temples and scholars of divine magic are at a loss to explain a curse that has affected the entire region, and possibly the entire world. You all have been invited, or rather have been sent, to a retired adventurer by the name of Syndra Silvane. Your reasons are your own, but she has welcomed you to her private accommodation at Baldur's Gate. And so you've been invited to the home of Syndra Silvane, for those that didn't catch the first time, who doubles as a merchant. When you get to the house, a uniformed attendant leads you up a grand set of staircase to the third floor, then ushers you into a wood-panelled room with a fireplace, comfortable chairs, and a heavy table bearing goblets and bottles of wine. The darkly panelled walls are hung with maps and sea charts. Racks, shelves, and cabinets hold hundreds more rolled-up maps and charts. You then spot a person seated in an overstuffed chair near the fireplace. You can't discern a gender because only the person's head emerges from under a heavy blanket draped over the chair, and an embroidered hood and silver mask conceals the wearer's face. The voice is very dry and raspy, as they say, "Help yourselves to wine and seat yourself, friends. I hope I may call you that." So, you guys are free to do as you see fit to respond to this.
Frog takes a seat and chugs the full glass of wine.
And she goes, not one for... not one for idle chatter then, are we? That's fine with me. There's plenty to go around. Anybody else?
Yeah, Sekiro will grab a glass as well, but stay standing.
Okay, very well. There's plenty to go around for all, and it seems that the person here is the one that has summoned you. So, perhaps somebody would like to ask why.
Dralian will ask her why we're here.
Well, I'm glad somebody chipped up to ask that question. I was an adventurer years ago. I died once and was raised from the dead. I have since closed the door to that stage of my life, but since then, the death curse you've heard about has struck me. I don't know how much longer I'll last before I perish. Clerics, such as yourself, have no help to offer. They've stymied but what is coming. Or they're stimmed by what is coming. It's a word I don't fully understand. I just use words that I don't understand often. But they are unsure about why the death curse is happening, and so they have no way to help me. One guessed that I would have a little over 2 months left in my life before I dwindle down to nothing but a husk.
As a group, do we know any more about the death curse than that?
You don't. You only know that there is something that is re-striking the fear of death into everyone's hearts. The cause is unknown, the source is unknown, the reason is unknown, and the only thing that is known is that it's reclaiming back those that have been brought back from the dead, and those that are killed are no longer able to be revived.
All right, Drowlin's going to ask her what we can do to help her.
Well, my contacts in the Harpers have learned that the cause of the death curse, is a necromantic artifact called the Soulmonger. According to the sources, the Soulmonger is somewhere in Chult. Chult is a peninsula ringed with mountains and choked with rainforests, enormous reptiles, savage goblins, and an army of undead prowl its jungles and ruins. Mapping the place has always been nigh impossible, and nothing is known about the region's current geography beyond a few miles from the coast.
An artifact, you say? Describe more about what you know of this artifact, the Soulmonger.
Well, judging from the name, it collects and reaps souls. I don't know anything beyond
like?
that.
Very well.
Must it be activated by mortal hands? Or by a god? Or what means?
I haven't the slightest clue. Magic artifacts could even be set off and left to their own devices to continue on their magical ways. I have no idea. If I had a better idea, perhaps more headway would be made into stopping it.
How did you hear about the artifact?
She takes off a very elegant glove, as you see what looks like a grandmother's hand, like sagged, pruny fingers with long, fragile nails and some dark splotches that look like birthmarks that are across her hand. As they say that I've made great efforts into trying to fix the death curse that has fallen upon me. So I have tasked those informants in the Harpers to find this out for me, on top of the work they were already doing beforehand.
So what is it you want us to do exactly?
Bring an end to the death curse and destroy or end the Soulmonger.
Well, that is quite the task. We should probably talk about our payment.
Yes, no worries. For ventures like yourselves, I will gladly offer up 50 gold pieces each to begin your venture, and at the end of it, I can guarantee you a magic item of your choice, within reason.
Very good, but this is quite the daring task where we would be putting our lives at risk. I think an advance of much more of a significant sum would be due for lodging and rations and any gear we need for the road.
50 gold pieces can cover you well enough, but what's more, I will be taking you there via instantaneous travel, so it will save you months of travel time. That being said, however, if you feel that you are in no greater threat of undertaking this kind of task, just look at my hand and know that there will be no way back from death should it ever befall you if this is left unchecked.
Quick question. Did we get her name?
Yes, you were invited here by someone called Syndra Silvane, but you've yet to ask the figure in the cloak who they are.
Okay, so what is your name by chance?
Oh, you haven't imagined already? Oh, very well. Yes, I'm Syndra Silvane, the one that invited you.
Well, Silver, for 50 gold coins, I think it is well worth ending this curse.
Syndra,
proceed
not
forward.
Silver.
Oh.
It's very rude to get a lady's name wrong.
We're new to these parts, so sorry.
Well, the cleric shows some dignity, and I respect that. However, there's nothing more that you need to begin your journeys. If you have something better to do than stop a curse that will end your life forever, should you ever die by it, then I will suppose I'll have to ask somebody else. Though I urge you to take it up. I have sent many beforehand. Some have not been successful.
I'm gonna roll insight on what she's saying there.
So insight is discerning one's motive. What
Yep.
is it that... Okay.
I want to know if this is actually what she's wants, or if there's some sort of ulterior motive here.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
21.
Alright, so this would be some sort of like, yeah, this would be a charisma saving throw, I guess. No, I'll just take the passive. And the passive is that you perceive that, given that she is currently dying because of this, you know, and that she is dying because of the death curse, that this is very likely a proper motive of her. She wants the death curse to stop, so she might live. There's no ulterior motive behind that, as any deviation means she dies.
Okay, as a
So
cleric,
you have sent others before us.
Oh yes, no, I'm well aware of your newfound adventuring lifestyles, but I have needed to call upon any who could come before us. And you wondered about treasure. Chult, and more specifically, Nyanzaru, has treasures beyond imagination. My friend, who I will get you in touch with, the name escapes me. It's hang on, I'll get this right. Yes, Wakanga Otamu. He is just one of 7 merchant princes that govern the city of Nyanzaru. Being on good terms with him will reward more treasure than I could offer you.
And where might we find this Wakanga?
He is the merchant prince of Nyanzaru, the place I will be taking you to begin your journey into Chult.
Very well.
Well, if that closes up matters, shall we leave immediately?
Yes.
Let's be on our way.
Let's go forward.
Yep.
let's
Daring
go.
people. Very well. She's in a sort of bit of a pushchair, and she asks if, quietly, if somebody would mind pushing her along a bit.
I will gladly get behind her chair and push her forward.
All right then. So you do so. Easy enough to carry. They seem like a very light person, and she leads you to an adjacent room, just an empty wooden paneled room that has a magical symbol on the ground. Would anybody with the Arcana skill proficiency care to roll for that?
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay. So you recognize it as a glyph of teleportation. So yeah, either one of you recognize it as a glyph of teleportation. And she notions to all of you to come into it as she prepares to do the spell casting of it. She begins...
I step in.
Okay, great. She begins to cough a few times and clears her throat before she begins to utter the words of power that instill it. She re-gloves her elderly-looking hand again as she moves her arms around from the chair and carefully focuses into her casting. The glyph lights up as you guys see the dimmer adjacent room disappear along with the warm glowing hearth to the other side. You then see you then see things start to fade into place of a bustling port, and the sight that most strikes you is the lush green that grows out of every building, the heat and humidity that clings so tightly to your skin that it's a very distinct and immediate shock to the system, the fine sea breeze coming over the edge of the docks that you're at. And what might surprise you the most is ships being moored into the docks, being led by two gigantic reptiles. Brightheart, you recognize these as the large reptiles that you had researched in your past. And they seem to be commonly peeking out between the buildings of this bustling city. And I'm going to see if I have a handout for you right now. Ah, no, not Steam. God damn it. I'll have a... I will... God damn, I hate these moments that are awkward. It just it leaves me very awkward. Don't worry. We'll get this.
I was just say, it's great to be back here. You guys, look, aren't these wonderful creatures?
Yes, fill this time with role-playing.
Does the theme from Jurassic Park start playing?
It can do in your own minds.
What can you tell us about this Brightheart?
They're native only to this area, and you have to be careful. They are dangerous.
I've never seen such things before.
Well, yes, you know, Brightheart, that these are known as dinosaurs. A large reptile only being found in the far south as Chult goes, at least. I can't find a good enough image, so instead, I'm going to take you to Port Nyanzaru.
Are these similar to dragons?
No.
No.
Dragons look... Oh, gone.
They don't have magic abilities like a dragon, and they don't have human intelligence or sentience.
Ah, so they're beasts of the wild.
Yes.
Good. They would provide us with sustenance along our journey, should we need to hunt them.
Yeah, that may not be a good idea when you say that out loud, as like these large reptiles you're seeing immediately have large tusks or large spikes that come out from their body, thick hide of what could be described as dragon-like armor, and what's more, they're about more than 3 times the bulk of a typical cow, so you may be a bit more off-put by that notion than you believe. Either way,
Are there
though,
smaller versions of these dinosaurs?
not that you immediately see, but all the same though, you find yourselves right here if you're at Port Nyanzaru, right where the grey broadwalk is. You appear in a tropical city under the blazing sun. The familiar sound of a harbour, creaking ropes slapping waves, heavy barrels rolling across cobblestones, mingle with voices shouting and cursing in an unfamiliar language filled with clicks and inhalations and sing-songy words that make it sound almost musical. The aroma of unfamiliar spices and tropical fruit mixes with the wharfside smell of fish, tar, and canvas. Beyond all that, Port Nyanzaru is an explosion of colour. Buildings are painted in bright shades of blue, green, and orange, and salmon pink, or their walls are adorned with murals portraying giant reptiles and mythical heroes. Every building sports baskets and clay urns of colourful flowers, or is draped in leafy flowering vines. Minstrels in bright clothing, adorned with feathers and shells, perform on street corners that you see over the small harbour walled see here. Multicolored pennants and sun awning flutter atop the city walls. A crowd of children dressed in feather hats and capes races past you, squealing in delighted terror as a street performer, costumed as a big-toothed lizard, stomps and roars behind them. The whole city seems to be a bustling, sweating, laughing, swearing, and singing place.
Does Silva accompany us on this journey, or did she stay behind?
Yes, Syndra has joined along with you.
Okay, so we'll ask Silva where we find this Wakanda at.
The merchant prince, it's better if I find him first, but he will likely be in one of the major points. I'll have to ask around and see where I can find him. In the meantime, though, if you want to make yourselves at home here, there are two notable taverns that could be found at the Red Bazaar. They are the Thundering Lizard or the Kaya's House of Repose. You may find some refuge there, and it's worth getting your bearings on the first day as you're accustomed to this incredibly hot climate, she says with an exasperated tone.
Are there any churches in this town?
What's that?
Churches in this town.
I didn't
You mean
catch that
churches?
first bit.
Are there any churches in this town?
Oh, well, that's up for you to try and hunt down, I guess. There does seem to be from where you are, this building over here seems to be quite an interestingly laid out looking place. It looks very ornate, and this is me stalling before I can get the full description of it, because it's a very special place. Aha! Here we go. So, roll me a religion check. Okay, so maybe it's because of it being in a different place, or maybe it's a god you don't know, but you don't seem to recognize what that temple belongs to. But yeah, it seems to be kept apart from everything else. It kind of looks like the roof is floating in midair for some reason. But other than that, you can't make out what's going on with that place, and you don't know who it's the church of.
Where is the Red Bazaar? Where the taverns is supposed to be.
I highly recommend the Thundering Lizard, and I can lead the way if you'd like.
That sounds intriguing to me as well.
That sounds good.
You
Let's
can?
go.
I've been here before.
Alright then. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, perfect. So, with your guide, worth mentioning though, Druid, you did not go that much further beyond the city walls. You were very much a single tourist. You spotted some giant reptiles, you took some notes, but you didn't risk the dangers of the outside jungles, which many locals warned you against. But
Of
you
course.
have got a bit of a working knowledge of most places around here. Oh yeah. So Syndra says, I'll be making my way over to the prince's villa, and she points into this general direction. And while you go your separate ways, Brightheart will take you towards the Red Bazaar, which is found. Having trouble finding it. Doodly-doo. Where is it gone? Oh, fucking me. Here it is. Boom. Over this part. So on the other side of the city. So you have to go for a bit of a walk around before you get to it. But yeah, you absolutely can do so.
All right,
Oh,
shall
then
we
we
just
had that
make our
direction.
way to the tavern and discuss our next move?
Yes, let's do so. And as we go by the port, I would like to make a perception check to see what kinds of ships are in the port.
Oh, okay. Okay, so very unclear who the ship belongs to. Did you have a sailor background?
I did, yes.
Yeah, barbarian. Yeah, absolutely. We'll let this be with advantage, and so we'll take the result of 12. And with that roll, what you can mostly make out is that this seems to be with some sort of traders, likely Kalimsham sort of traders, which is pretty south, but still in the Sword Coast. Their closest sort of resembling characteristics and ethnicity to what we have in our world is what you might describe as Persian.
Do I notice him observing the ships?
Yeah, you're traveling as a troop together, so yeah.
Ah, you seem quite enamored with all the ships here.
Yes, I've sailed on a few ships of my own. I was just curious what kinds of merchants, as well as other types of ships and sailing vessels they would have down south here.
Anything interesting?
What was it you mentioned? The types of traders that were like Persians and so forth?
Yes, that's the closest example I would tell you that they are Persian-like.
All right, I share my information with the rest of the party as I discuss it with the ranger.
After that conversation, I would like to slowly catch up with the party by spending time doing a gather information check around town of general information.
I'm going to say that because you're on the move following your druid friend in a place you don't know, in a language you don't know, you're not going to be making any headway into that check right now. However,
Fair enough.
your immediate interest into scanning the local area does reveal something that you would describe as very out of place. You notice this. Check your journal now for Volo Famp Volo Gedarm. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yes, it should be a handout that you can see. And you can see this gentleman waving around a whole bunch of books in his hand as he's talking in common. As he goes, step right up and be the first to get Volo's Guides to Monsters, approved by myself, the author, Volofamp Volo Gedarm. I personally have gone to every part of faerun. I can tell you the difference between a beholder and a demigod. I can show you the sweet, delicate spots and the uses of a flail snail shell. I can show you it in this beautiful volume being sold now for only 50 gold pieces for hardback edition. Come on now and step right up. Come get your Volo's Guide to Monsters.
I rush right over.
I'm very interested.
I see we got a few travelers around here. Good stuff, my friends. Though, needless to say, you'll never be as well-traveled as myself. But, needless to say, I have what your venturing needs. You need a little bit of background reading, a little bit of insight into these strange and exotic creatures. Never seen them before, have we, eh? Well, like I just said, 50 gold pieces, one book. You can share it around, but when push comes to shove, 2 editions is better than 1. Suppose you lose one in the mouth of a velociraptor, or the other gets torn up in a blazing fireball spell, or maybe you lose one to the mouth of a shambling mound. So many precautions to take care of, and I recommend them all.
Can I do a perception on the books to see if this is legitimate?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I'll ask you to do me a history check instead. Okay, yeah, that's enough. So, you know that this is actually a, purchased copy, and you know of Volo. He is a well-known traveler, famous for his, complete encyclopedia of monsters and their habits and habitats. So, he is absolutely a confirmed world traveler, and this is absolutely him in the flesh with his actual hardback book.
I'm gonna say to him, "You're Volo, aren't you?"
You're a bit slow on the uptake there, my good boy. I said I was Volo as I announced it to the whole Nyanzaru port. That being said, I know it's a little bit, it's a bit tricky. Sometimes you think, oh, is that... Can't be. No, but I guarantee this is he, Volo Gedam, at your service.
Well, where I'm from, there's a lot of impersonators around.
Oh,
And there have been men to pretend to be others to make coin, but you're the real Volo.
indeed I am. And I must say, it's a completely understandable offense. There's so many. I once dealt with 3 men, all claiming to be me, to my face, as they just wanted to get my book for free. They claimed the author's rights, and I disputed that to the courts. And I naturally won, as I could confirm it.
Well, very good on you. I would like to purchase a copy of your book. However, I find that I am short on gold as of recent days. Perhaps you could sell it to me at a discount, and I could return the favor later.
Now, I don't do IOUs. I'll be out tomorrow, or perhaps I'll stay for a month. There's no telling where I'll be. Now, what's more important to you, my dear sir? Being short on coin, or being short on tips on killing those that will kill you?
I'll borrow the book for 50 gold.
Haha, I'm glad you see things my way, sir. Mark off 50 gold pieces from your character sheet, which you had gotten already by Syndra Silvane, giving 50 each. That is 50 gold pieces each of you, by the way, just if that wasn't clear. And you yourself have lost your 50 to the hardback edition of Volus Guide to Monsters.
This book would be useful for all of us, so I think it would make sense for us all to chip in on the purchase.
Well, that may be something you decide with the others, but for now, you've paid and you've got a book that you can then ask people to chip in for at your own leisure.
All right, very good.
The rest of the party sort of stopped for this. Perhaps others were not so keen on interacting with this blowhard show-off, but it seems like your sorcerer was very taken by him.
Indeed, I was.
Dralian wasn't interested. He's not very smart. Doesn't like books. So
That's fair
I prefer
enough.
to study the creatures myself.
Ah,
Who needs books? We can just swing an axe at it.
everyone living up to their stereotype. Like it. Alright then. So yeah. So right in your equipment that you currently have, a Volus Guide to Monsters. I need to blow my nose. Excuse me. You can use the Volus Guide to Monsters to pick up certain bits of lore and information that may be handy to you in a pinch. So yeah, it might hold some interesting information for you. But anyway, can you what? Sorry.
Shall we continue to the bar?
Oh yeah. So this was around the Grand Sock Market over here, and you make your way awkwardly, dodging those that would be in your way here and there, until you get yourselves over to this location, the Red Bazaar. And just as its name should imply, the stone beneath is like redstone. I would like a perception check on whoever wants to make it. Or a nature check. No, not a nature. Maybe a survival? Well. Alright. We'll take David's... Yeah, okay. We'll take Kate's roll for survival. So, this isn't red because it's natural stone. This is red because it has been stained over and over and over again with blood.
Wow. Are you going to share that?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm on push to talk. The ground here is not natural, like you would find in other locations. This is definitely blood that's making the ground red.
It's completely dried though, as far as you can see. But it has taken a lot of blood to make this happen. A lot.
Is this outside the bar?
Yeah, this is across all the market streets where nobody pays any mind to it.
I'm going to walk up to the nearest person I can see.
Okay.
And say, Hello there. I'm a traveling adventurer, and I couldn't help but notice all of the red-stained sand and dirt over there. What is that?
It's Jupiter, sure. Stick.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, you have a unproductive conversation with somebody that doesn't know Northern is common. All the same, though, moving along.
Well, that could prove a problem for us in the future.
Yeah, might do. Might do.
And then ask them the question.
I'm just trying to find this little place for you now. Hang on. Arriving. There you go. But yeah, as you've been walking around, it has already been starting to wear on you just how difficult it is to manage this humidity. I mean, Mr. Cleric, what armor are you rocking right now?
Chainmail.
Yeah.
And yes, it's very hot.
Yes, it is. You are... This already feels like, you know, a whole day's worth of exercising and traveling has just all been condensed into this one, this one little walk. It's really absolutely frustratingly exhausting for you. But yeah, you notice a little bit of commotion here and there, as again, I stalled to try and find the page I want. Jeez.
I don't know what you're complaining about. I'm just fine here in my robes.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm used to this. All this humidity.
Yeah, so the druid is fine, the barbarian is down to next to very little, so they're managing the heat pretty well. The actual humidity, I mean, on top of it being relatively sunny, it's still overcast to some degree, so it's spotted cloud, and as such, there's a very fine mist of rain that continues to come down over you guys. So nobody's staying dry with all this going on.
I'm in my favorite terrain. I'm perfectly comfortable here. That chainmail looks mighty hot.
Oh yeah, absolutely is. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, you find yourself at the Thundering Lizard, where there's already lots of rowdy yelling from the outside, and your druid has successfully taken you there. You can see the image of a Tyrannosaurus Rex with lightning buzzing out of his mouth and his spines, as there's a little signpost at the front. And basically you make your way in to a very smoky parlour that is worse off by the humidity that's there, with small little holes that peek quite bright light into the rather dimly lit place. There's barely any need for heating in here, so there doesn't seem to be a hearth at all here. And yet you find your way inside.
I head up to the barkeep and hope he speaks common.
Yeah, so he sees you guys, and you can see he noticeably counts each of you, and he then says, 3 gold! 6 people! Money! 3 gold! 1 night.
Ah, so broken common it is.
Yeah.
Well, did we want to stay the night here?
Well, you gotta be able to find the place somewhere, otherwise you're going to be beggars on the street.
I'm saying that.
Yes, we will stay the night here. That's fine. At least somebody speaks common around here.
Thank you very much. 3 gold. Please.
Hand him the gold.
Hand him the gold.
Yeah, so he takes it up. He nods as he grabs some keys off the wall and is like, number on key. Make yourself comfy. 1 night. 3 gold another night. And yeah, you guys now basically have a place to stay. And it's towards the middle of the day right now. And you guys have a whole lot of stuff to accommodate yourself. The climate, the place, your quest to actually deal with the death curse, what's known about it, maybe catch up with Syndra Silvane, and also maybe catch up with what's going on with a bunch of people getting all worked up in the corner that you can see what resembles a sort of bookies betting table. So a whole feast of things you guys could be getting up to.
Yeah, I don't think we'll make any progress on our main objective until we speak with Syndra's friend.
But yeah, this is me asking you, what do you guys do next?
Well, I'm going to head over to the gambling that seems to be happening in the corner and see if anybody over there speaks any common or that I know any of the games there.
Okay then. So yeah, as you approach, what comes into view that was currently covered by a bunch of people standing up is at the bottom there's a bunch of the giant reptiles, the dinosaurs, that you've seen beforehand, and instead they're organized into these written on chalkboard sort of patterns. I say chalkboard, they are. Rather, they're just like chalked onto the wall that's clearly been used over and over again as sort of a makeshift booking table. But you can definitely see that there's odds and that there is currently betting going on over something relating to the dinosaurs you've seen around here.
I open Volo's Book of Monsters and see if I can find any information about monsters that are fighting.
You get a lot. In fact, on every chapter that deals with a monster in particular, you get a favorite habit about how it kills and whatnot. Is there anything in specific you want to find out that would filter down this search other than how all creatures fight?
What type of what's the name of the monsters that are fighting each other? And I assume they're going to be fighting each other. It sounds like it's a fighting ring. And what information about those specific creatures?
So you don't really find stuff like that. What you first begin with is trying to match up the picture to the monster that's in the book. And I'm trying to find this information now. Not as easy as you would think. Boom, there we go. Okay, so you discover the names of a couple of these. So on the board you can at least see some Ankylosaurs, some Triceratops, some Dimetrions, some Hadriosaurs, some Deinonychuses, some young Allosaurus, and some Tyrannosauruses, which is...
How big is this tavern?
I mean, they're not in here. What you're currently seeing is just symbols on the chalk setup.
Oh. Are they counting sightings?
Don't know about that. There's a lot to see, and there seems to be plenty of them around the place. It doesn't seem like finding dinosaurs would be difficult here, so it doesn't seem like that would be too great an issue or worth making a betting ring out of.
Do we find anybody over there that can speak common?
Well,
Yes, I shout out so that everyone can hear me.
Okay.
Does anybody speak common and can explain this game?
Yeah, so somebody, what looks like the sort of guy taking care of the bets goes, well, actually, you gotta shout really loud to get past some of the continuous background chatter that's going on in here. That is pretty loud. So, yeah, you shout extra loud, and everybody in the place quiets for you as you're just screaming your head off to get your voice on top of everybody else. And yeah, there'll be a guy that's like, alright, over here. As there seems to be some guy that is able to talk to you. A dark-skinned gentleman that has a sort of, not what you would call the traditional pipe, but one that's made out of bamboo, and he seems to be smoking that quite well.
Okay, and I ask him, how is the game played here?
Well, you put your bets on those that win the race, of course.
Race? Is there a circuit somewhere?
There's a chuckle around the place. Right here, lad.
You would have to point it out to me. I don't see it.
The streets, boy. The streets are used for racing.
Ah, is that where all the blood is from?
Blood? They look really confused by you at this point.
Well, you're racing dinosaurs, right? Do they chomp at each other?
They kind of question each other as they're not sure on your vernacular, and then they go back. The Unchained circuit, that has a bit of blood going on with it.
Can you explain the roads outside the cavern?
They're especially confused by this. This is just such a off-the-wall question for them. They're absolutely unprepared and unsure how to answer it. You're asking what's weird about what is just their home, basically, and they're unsure how to answer.
But are the other streets around the area red as well?
No, it does seem to be unique to the Red Bazaar.
When's the next race?
Oh, well, now we're talking on more certain terms. Next race will be on in 2 days. That'll be the Unchained race.
Okay.
I'd like to go over to the barkeep who speaks common and ask why they call this the Red Bazaar.
So, you go back to the guy that was talking in the fashion of 3 gold, 1 night, and
very broken.
he replies to you with you already paid. You paid. You good. You paid.
Okay, that didn't work.
By the way, enjoy a small little preview about what these guys look like. You should see Chulton's handout in your journals now. And this is basically the typical people that are around you. So, yeah, quite... Describe that ethnicity however you like.
It's like it's a combination between like Persian and Mayan or something.
Desert dwellers.
Yeah.
Alright then. Anyway, yeah, so up to you to decide how to go from here.
Well, I don't think we're getting anywhere in this place.
No, we'll have to see about the race in 2 days, though. I am interested. But since it's not happening in 2 days and we can't seem to get a clear answer of how the race actually happens, I think we should go find out, talk to our guide and learn more about our main quest.
The druid will agree. Or the cleric will agree.
Alright then.
Syndra was going to go meet with her friend, who is going to give us more information.
Right, so
as we follow them around, I'm going to continue to intently study the monster manual book.
Oh yeah, so yeah, you take a good look.
I read over his shoulder.
Yeah, you get some sharing of the book in, and you scuff into a bunch of people that swear at you in a language you don't particularly understand. But you continue on as you do. So you only know that you have to find yourselves over here, and the way to get in there seems pretty elaborate. You got to work yourself back round to here, and then you got to work up this path, following down here, and then get your way over to here. That seems to be the typical method without jumping over any buildings to get to where you need to go, which is the Merchant Prince's Villa. Is that all good for you guys?
Yep.
To start making our way in that direction? Sure.
Okay.
Well, we're good. If we're gonna be by the church, Dryden would like to investigate that.
All right. So as you walk by, you pass by the place where Volo was selling his books and continues to do so. You also see some merchants that seem to be selling some armor, tools, mounts, including a few dinosaurs between these large like tents and teepees, and some general adventuring gear. And while you work your way around, you spot over in this direction, Cleric, some more temples. And I'd like you to roll me religion again. Alright, so this god you have heard of before. Yeah, so over here, this looks like a temple of Savras. Savras is a deity of wizards, fortune tellers, diviners, and those who unfailingly speak the truth regardless of whether listeners want to hear it or not. His symbol is a monstrous eye, or a crystal ball filled with eyes. Yeah, he's definitely of the divination domain, and yeah, it's a pretty grand roof with its dome resembling an unblinking eye staring upwards. And that's how this seems to appear to you.
Do I see any priests or anything outside the temple?
Difficult. It doesn't seem like it's got that much of a religious flair to it. To the point where there's like this many clerics around. It does seem to be maintained by cloaked figures that seem of a wizardly inclination. Well, anyway, you continue on your way, and as you pass by a great palace, on the other side, you go to a tucked away little villa where you can see Syndra Silvane and another person talking out in the front. I'll see if I can get a handout for him. But the person seems in some very regal garb, and here we go. Yes. Show to players. There we go. So there, sitting beside her, is this gentleman, Wakanga Ootamu. Everybody seeing that?
Yep, indeed.
Yep.
So Syndra seems to lean over to him, mutters something beyond earshot, and then he gets up from his chair and spreads his arms welcomingly as he goes, "Please, please, come over and get out of the sun. I can be your host for the evening. My name is Wakanga, and it's my pleasure to have you come to Nyanzaru. I imagine it's been a very long day for you far travelers."
It has. Thank you, Wakanga. I shall take a seat.
Brilliant.
Do you have anything to drink?
Oh yes, I've got some nice mango juice.
That would be very refreshing in this heat. Please, everyone, sit down. You need some
Take
liquids.
a seat, grab a glass.
What's that?
I take a seat as well and grab a glass of mango juice.
Nice. Yeah, so you all sit down around him, and Syndra is there just quietly to herself. It seems like she may have gone for some sort of a sleep in her little wheelchair, as you guys are left to just talk on your own terms. But yeah, you guys have some stuff to figure out and to ask about.
I ask him all the things.
Be specific, please.
Why are we here?
You don't need to ask him that. You know why you're here. You're here to stop the death curse. You're here because you believe, from what Syndra has told you, that the Soulmonger is in the region of Chult.
Wakanga, do you know, or are there any suspicions or rumors around if somebody is using this device to spread this disease?
Let's see. So he admits that he knows very little about this other than his familiarity along with the death curse that's been going around here.
Have we made any progress on the actual location of this artifact?
No.
By we, I'm meaning our collective group.
No, you have not.
Wakanga, has this curse been affecting your people?
Yes, there were a few in the Wizard Order that had tried to resurrect one another after a certain incident, and they were unable to come back. What's more, I have seen among those more rich and magical that have been able to come back, that have slowly started to decay, like my friend Syndra over here. So yes, it has been noticeable in this area too.
Are there any leads or known places where the artifact was suspected to be?
1 second, somebody else was trying to talk. Who was that?
That was the fighter.
Oh, please, by all means, ask your thing first.
I was going to ask if you could tell us what happened to the previous adventurers.
Oh, good question.
I only know that there have been many that have tried to take on the trials of Chult and its dangerous jungles. Many very unwisely consider to do so without the expertise of a guide, and have either been lost to mad monkey fever or have been killed off by some of the undead that roam beyond my borders. What has happened to them? I have no clue. Many do get lost in those jungles, though.
Can you recommend a guide?
I don't know who's popular at the moment, but guides are very well known and respected in this city. There are likely, if you search, there's bound to be one or two that will guide you through the jungles for a fee. It's worth making sure you're prepared with the coin needed before venturing out there too, and take the time that you need before beginning to trial the jungles of Chult.
Good advice, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I ask him what the typical fee for a guide would be, just so that we aren't, taken in by one.
5 gold per day, I think, is what I've usually seen around. Yeah, 5 gold a day. That seems to be the working price.
Do these guides speak the common tongue?
Because they are naturally in need for far travelers like yourself, yes, they typically do come with a working understanding of common.
Well, if we were to venture outside the city walls, we would likely need one, at least at the beginning.
Yes, it's very likely.
Where would we be able to find them? Do they stay at a local place, or would they just be wandering around town?
Wandering around town is my answer to that. You need to search for them.
Very well. Do you have any idea what they look like? Do they wear any specific clothes or symbols?
To be honest, I don't keep tabs on each and every single one. IRL, would you keep tabs on what each taxi driver in the area looks like, you know?
Fair enough.
So no, he hasn't known of most notoriable ones.
Alright, so we know we need to get a guide, but now we need to know where we should start searching.
Yes. Did Wakang? I did ask a question, supposedly after the fighter, about if it was known where the artifact was. If there's any stories or legends about where the artifact may have supposedly been in like a ruin somewhere, or
None that I know.
Well, should we choose to venture outside the city walls as we try to gather more information, I assume you probably don't make it out there much. Is there anything we could do for you while we're out there?
Just helping my friend Syndra here will help greatly for me, as she is a friend of mine, and I'd like to see her not be lost to this death curse. Needless to say, however, if you need something from me, and he goes back in as he gets like a little trolley of some interesting magical items. He seems to have some potions and a few scrolls that the sorcerer can already recognize as spell scrolls, as he's like, I do, however, have some magical items that might perhaps interest you.
I look them over.
So he has some alchemist fire, potion of healing. He has some first and second level spell scrolls. You need to tell me what kind you may be looking for, and we'll see about what he's got.
Now, is he actually offering to give these to us, or
No, to sell them.
Okay.
how much is he offering for the health potions?
So, I need to get my Dungeon Master's Guide. 1 second.
The alchemist fire would probably be very useful.
Okay, so you want a potion of healing. Now, if I'm right, a potion of healing that is typically common will be worth 80 gold pieces.
I try to persuade him to give us the discounts, that this is for helping his friend.
He kind of chuckles as he says, I more or less hold the monopoly in terms of magic items of this sort. If you're not happy with my prices, then I recommend you ask the competition that doesn't exist. Did you get all that?
Yep.
Okay.
What about the alchemist's fire?
Again, common, and can sell that for 80 gold pieces, but it's kind of a fixed rate for him. But at the same time, there is some other more noticeable stuff that you guys could purchase. He has a potion of hill giant strength. He's got a potion of growth. He's got potions of healing, as I've said. He also has a potion of fire breath, potion of animal friendship. Yeah.
How about items?
He hasn't got more beyond spell scrolls or potions. No magical items. He's also got some potions of resistance, which might interest you if you want to be resistant to a certain damage type for a little bit. Potion of water breathing. These are all the things that come to view as you scan around. But yeah, other than that, he's got some spell scrolls, and you'll just have to decide if you want to buy anything or not. If they seem too high a price for you, then you can leave it.
Well, since we only have 50 gold,
Per person, you had 50 gold per person.
you know,
Alright, okay. So, he shrugs and he'll leave it at that. As
Well, the animal friendship would basically be 80. That might be a useful potion. Anybody else? Is there any other potions that anybody else can think of the animal friendship one might be useful, considering we are in an area with dinosaurs, and they're all probably pretty large and could probably eat one of us whole.
I spent all my money, so
I know you did. All right then.
Yep. Okay. So you guys leave it at that.
All right. Well, let's. I mean, there's nothing else for me to do here, so I think we should probably go try to find one of these guides and venture outside the city and gather some more information.
Yep, that's fair enough to do. Keep in mind that he did mention 5 gold pieces a day, so it's worth making sure you have the coin for that. Before you had left, Syndra Silvane did give you a map that had the innermost region of Chult unexplored. And what should be currently loading for you is that map with the shaded hexagons being the areas that have not been explored, or rather that have not been made with the maps that she has.
Interesting.
Okay. We're
at north at Port Nyanzaru.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And like you say, any part of this deep, vast jungle is anyone's guess of where the Soulmonger might be. So exploring it is going to be just a random search until you get some sort of clues on it.
Good thing we have a ranger for this.
And a druid.
Can't get lost.
So,
yeah, Ranger, go to work. Track it down for us.
We're gonna need to find a guide first, I think, right?
Yeah, probably.
Well, do we need a guide? I mean, we have me, right? You guys can pay me 5 gold a day, and I'll do it.
I mean, you can absolutely
I
say
would rather
that,
take
but
a guide who knows this place.
you can say that, and I can tell you that you don't know this jungle, and you don't even know the dangers of jungles like this, as you've probably never tasted what it's like to be stung with a terrible disease that came out from the spores of a plant that then made you go insane. But by all means, you're welcome to say to the other players whatever you want to say.
No, we should find a guide.
Mm-hmm. Right then.
Let's track one down.
Okay. Whew. Yeah. So as you're coming back into the town, you can see some feline cat people that are dressed up in fine plumage that wander the street performing for anyone who tosses them a few coins. It all seems interesting. And again, as you walk around, you see more buildings that are painted over with dinosaurs and whatnot. Also worth mentioning, the bookie you dealt with before was a female Chultan woman who looked pretty firm and hench in her own way, but that was what was going on. Now, yeah, so you imagine to try and find rumors and whatnot to begin stuff off with. You imagine you're looking for hunters, guides, and general explorers. So, yeah, you can try to acquire some information from people around. Now, yeah, I would like whoever is making an active effort to check stuff out may do a insight check. You basically are like free to go your own way and inspect wherever you want to go. And you know what? I think that's how I'm going to deal with this. So everybody roll me an insight check, and everybody tell me a place that you will be going to. Oh my god, you got a -2 to perception and critted. Wow, that's a first.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm actually looking for like a translation book, a common to this local area's language type of primer or something.
Okay. Pardon me. that may take a little while longer than you think, but who's looking for a primer?
Sorcerer.
Okay, cool. So I'll have you keep your roll away, as this is insight to deal with something else. So, who is David? David,
That's me,
right,
the ranger.
So,
I'm looking for a guide. And
yeah,
I will go look over by the bazaar.
okay. Dralian, where do you head off to?
I may make a trip to the other tavern that we did not visit yet.
Oh, okay, Kayla's Repose, which is a much quieter, more relaxed place than your Thunderous Lizard. And Kate, where do you head off to?
I'm gonna go towards the edge of the city, probably here.
I see that. Okay. Yeah, so over there. So yeah, you're going into where anybody you'd see coming back from the jungle would likely be going. Interestingly, you recognize that over at this building is a temple of Timora, goddess of luck, built of sturdy blockstone, and you can see that it's higher up in the ground. And the last time we were here, you went in there when there was plenty of water rising in another bit of a storm they have around here, and the local sewages and pipeways couldn't contain it, so some people went into Timora's temple to get above that. Anyway, yeah, so you look around and you manage to catch one or two people that patiently talk with you, and a few of them seem to know common enough to be able to get you some information. So, however, whatever you ask them, the conversation seems to lead to a few bits of tidbits. Maybe the communication barrier causes this a bit, but since you're just interested in strange goings on, you get this following rumor, some city folk were expecting the arrival of a Haruian airship called the Star Goddess, and it never arrived. They bet it crashed in the jungle somewhere. So that's a tidbit that you seem to pick up. For Dralian,
Okay.
you're doing the same stuff. You're asking around and you're trying to gather information. And again, the communication barrier might be a thing, but when you're asking about strange goings on, you get a ruined city lies up the river Taff, past Kahakla Gorge. Supposedly, no one's explored past the gorge, but that's not true. It's just that the few who made it out alive mostly keep quiet about what they found there. I have it on good authority that the ruins are guarded by a Naga who is both wise and generous. So if we go back to your map of Chult, we can see... where is this? I suppose you don't see a river Taff. It's nothing like that is in view for you, it seems. So that's confusing.
I see it. River Tath is on the west side there.
Oh, there
right
it
by
is,
Jahaka
yeah.
Bay.
Oh, I see. Yes, well done. So yeah, somewhere up that river, over to that side, is where this rumor seems to indicate, and your map does mention the river to you. That seems to be something you know of. If you don't want to deal with the jungle, it's possible you just skirt the coastside all the way around and follow up that river if you so chose. It would be boring, but relatively safe way of passage without dealing with the jungle. It would be a long
Remind
trip.
me, we're in Port Nyanzaru, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just hearing this as chit chat in the town, right?
So to help you out with that, to find the river, would be something between 270 miles to 320 miles of journeying as the crow flies. But to follow it, you're looking at 30 plus 100 plus another 100 plus another 170 miles plus another 50 plus another 50 plus another 80 plus another 60, and then you'd be there.
We could also take a riverboat up to Camp Vengeance, and then by land cross, right?
Camp Righteous. Oh, Camp Vengeance. I see.
You see that?
Could
Yes.
you
And then
left
walk the
click?
rest
Could
of the
you
way.
shift and left click the point you're talking about? Oh, okay, I see that. Yes. Okay, awesome. So yeah, you could do such a journey.
Or just skirt the river, which would be significantly quicker.
Yes, but at the same time, you risk the wildlife. If you stay on the river, there's only the river life to worry about.
I'm more comfortable in the jungle than on the water.
Okay.
Well, I'm more comfortable in the water than in the jungle.
Oh.
Same here.
All right then. So David, whoop, there's a fly in my room.
Probably safer too.
All right. So David, you find from the locals that the city of Mesvo was not destroyed during the Spell Plague, the event that reordered all the gods and had rechanged the weave of magic. But apparently it had not destroyed the city of Mesro after all. Its ruins are an illusion. The person you're speaking to heard a pale-skinned man whisper this to a dinosaur man with a big sword. The dinosaur man smelled like honeysuckle. Very odd piece of tidbit for you.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, but that is what you guys discern and find out. A few interesting leads. Some may lead to nothing. Others might lead to something. Who knows? So you guys convene together, talking like that. You get all these random bits here and there, but nothing that really gives you a hint about the Soulmonger and anything that would actually lead you on a certain path to anywhere. Feeling a bit lost. You see a Chultan female acolyte that you, Mr. Cleric, can recognize as a cleric to Savras, the divination one that you were looking for before. Seems to be a bit distressed, and you see her looking around, looking quite lost, and looking a bit. She seems to be in trouble of some kind.
I'll approach her and see if she speaks common.
Yeah, so being a cleric of a information-based sort of wizard, a god rather, she says hi to you while she sort of looks to you, and in fact she recognizes you for a cleric, and she says, "Do you mind if we have a little talk quietly?"
Most certainly.
Okay, as one acolyte to another, and she just takes you to a quiet little alleyway where she kind of sits down and is like, I've been having terrible visions lately of red-robed wizards, and they seem to be operating somewhere in the Aldani Basin. The head of my temple, Zatemba, has been too busy to really let me follow up on this, and as the days go by, I've continued to see more visions, and I'm worried about what this could mean. They always seem like malevolent forces that seem to have death follow alongside them. And I don't know who else to turn to with this. I'm not somebody who can fight out in the wilderness, and needless to say, I'm scared of what these visions might mean.
Do you often have visions?
Not for all my life. They've only been recently, during what I would say was with the spell plague. No, not the spell plague, the death curse rather. Since that was announced, I began to see more and more visions of these red wizards.
So, do you know anything other than what you told me? about
No,
these
I
guys?
just have mixed matched visions in my dreams of them.
What are they doing in these visions?
I've various threatening images that I see involve visages of death follow them, and visages of liches and undead, and seeing life sapped into a monstrosity of some grand abomination of a fetus-like creature, shifting through the cosmos, devouring endless souls.
Where would I find this Aldani Basin?
So the Aldani Basin sounds like it would be somewhere in Chult. So it sounds like a water basin, so it sounds like it would be between mountains. And if you can't see it on your map, then you're at a bit of a loss, as you won't know. I think it's somewhere in view, actually. It just requires a bit of looking around.
As we explore the island, does this map, like, out of the game, like in Roll20, will this map become revealed to us?
Yeah. As you explore each hexagon, I mean, you can choose not to draw on your map and add notes and annotations here and there, but the combined sum of what you know is there on that map for you.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I will tell her that I'm with a group of adventurers, and our goal is to try to stop this curse, and that we will definitely look into this when we come across the basin.
Ah, brilliant. That's tremendous. If you like, I can. I know you're foreigners, and I can help lead you to the Aldani Basin if you like. I'm not really anybody that could explore the jungles by myself, but alongside you guys, I think, and a guide, of course. I'll provide for my own food and supplies, and I can donate some money to the expedition's expenses.
Can I do an insight check on her and see if she's genuine?
Yeah, absolutely. So you believe that she wouldn't have taken a cleric aside, a man of God, to lie to, and it seems to be very clear that she's in distress. A person who has trouble sleep is usually a very deranged or honest one, and you get the impression that she's more the honest one.
Okay. What is your name?
I don't know. Okay. God damn it! They didn't add a name, and at these moments, am I put on the spot?
Yeah, just make something random up.
I need human names. Human name generator activate. Why isn't Chult in here? Chondatham Callanshite? What the hell? Okay, her name is Jasmal.
Jasmal.
Yeah.
Jasmine.
Yeah, Jasmal.
Okay, I will tell her that that we are staying at, I can't remember the name, tavern.
Thunderous Lizard.
I tell her we're staying at Thunderous Lizard, and to meet us there this evening, and we will discuss it with the adventurers.
Yeah, certainly. 1 second.
But I'm also very intrigued by her information.
Sorry
her
about
health.
that. By the way, Fighter, and yeah, just Fighter. You've been very quiet. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. feel free to chip in and do your own stuff as and when you feel the need or want to. No need to feel shy.
Sure, will do.
All right. Okay then. So yeah, you get along with doing that, and you have somebody that you can meet her back with. But she also mentions that she insists that you all stop by the Temple of Savas to gather her belongings, and she urges if you can come along, that so you can meet Grandfather Zitembe, the man of the head of the clergy of Savas here.
I will definitely accompany you to there.
All right then. Whew. Okay.
I always welcome a sight of a church.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Grandfather Zitembe isn't immediately available to you, but he eventually does come into view, and you open up a bit of a dialogue because of Jasmal here, and you can see that he's quite a well-looked man. Sorry. It seems as though he is definitely a cleric, as far as you can see. He looks ready and outfitted, excuse me. Oh, so when you see him, he's in the midst of a heated conversation with 3 members. They look rather shady. Mr. Ranger?
Yes.
Yeah. These guys look sort of familiar. Yeah.
Okay. Where are we at right now? Where did we follow
so did
him?
we actually join Dralian when he went to meet him?
Yeah, everybody joined back up, and you're over at this location, the Temple of Savas, and you notice that this head grandfather Zitembe is in a heated conversation with 3 of these people, and he seems to be expressing some comment as he's saying that he doesn't know where this person is, and they expected to see if he could cast his magic. They're doubting his skills, and they're waving around a very large, priceless ruby, and it seems that Zitembe isn't interested with them. And when you guys come in, the 3 of them look at the newcomers that have just come by, and they sort of move along as they don't want to they'll leave the grandfather to you, as they'll leave him be for the time being.
I walk up to him and introduce myself.
He's a bit flustered as he's just come back from an argument, as he just goes, yes. Hello, you've come to the Temple of Savas. I see you're of a different order. What's your god, by the way?
I follow Tempest.
Yeah, so a god of Tempest. What brings you to these parts? And he notices Jasmal, and he looks a bit deflated as he's sympathetic to her problem at the moment, and he kind of is a wise enough man to guess that I take it that you've accepted Jasmal's expedition to the water basin.
Yes, we did. It's kind of part of our common goal is to try to figure out how to stop this curse.
So his first immediate reaction is that I've heard this many times, and I don't believe in the slightest that the death curse has anything to do with Chult. I believe that any efforts to find the source of it here is is a waste of effort, honestly. I can't imagine anywhere in our peninsula would have anything to do with the death curse.
What makes you believe this?
I believe it as a follower to God Savras of Insight. I would be amiss if something so dastardous and unholy would ever be in this domain that I was not aware of, and that my God didn't see fit to tell me.
Oh, great. Well, perhaps you're right, and that would be great news.
Well, I hope you haven't come down here for a wasted journey, but, I mean, all the same.
I look over at the cleric.
I say that there's no wasted journey. People are dying, and I want to find out the reason why. And even if we go in the forest or the jungle and we find nothing, then so be it. We'll look someplace else.
Right, so, what are you guys asking of him?
Well, I want to ask him, what were those men doing?
Oh, they seemed quite determined to find somebody called Kimber, but I sensed they had an ulterior motive and was remiss to have allowed them their divination.
They didn't seem like they were from around here.
No, they're not. Not that I'm aware of, at least. I've never seen them before here.
Do you know anything about this Kimber person and why he would be important to anyone?
Not in the slightest.
What does he do?
I have no idea. I don't know this man in the slightest at all.
I want to insight check that.
Yeah, by all means.
Crappy as my insight is.
Yep,
I don't know anything.
He's being completely truthful.
This Kimber person could be important to us. We should find out more.
Sorry, George, are you doing an insight for this? I
Yes.
don't believe you
Yes,
declared that to me, so that was a bit of a surprise. All the same, though, he's being completely truthful.
Okay, so I'm going to turn to Jasmine and ask her if she has any more details about this Aldani Basin that we need to know about.
Let's see. In fact, no,
Well, she
she's
did offer to go with us.
Yeah, she's aware of the local area to a certain point, but it still needs a guide. That being said, she knows of it. She's not been to it. It's a water basin. It has a bit of marsh to it, but other than that, doesn't know much about it. She's certainly never been there before.
I'm gonna pull the cleric aside, the party's cleric, and I'm gonna say to him, kind of like not like whispering, but just in a quieter tone.
Right.
If this Kimber person was so important to some foreigners, perhaps he might be someone who would be able to give us more information as to what this supernatural artifact is. No one around here seems to know anything about it, but maybe this person would. Perhaps ask the diviner to locate him for us.
Okay, so I will do that. Diviner, who are you referring to? That
The
Grandfather?
arc. Yeah, that guy, the big guy.
So I'll ask him is there any way he can help us locate this
Kimber.
He's already like quite dismissive as that is like I would feel remiss to have shared this person's location. This man, he's unknown to me. He might be completely innocent. He might be a man looking to leave a life behind of persecution or whatnot. I don't see a need to look into this person that you didn't know of before I said the name. I don't believe it's worth me sharing this. He's basically saying the equivalent of, privacy and respect of it until there's a good need for it.
Seems like he has something to hide from us.
Okay, so I guess if we're not getting any more information from this gentleman, we will go on our way.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
What time of day you would say it is?
What's that?
What time of day would you say it is? How long have
Now
you been
it's
doing
getting
this?
evening, but evening for you is still hotter than your middays back up in the north. It is uncomfortable. With the sun gone, things aren't burning. They're in a hanging humidity that continues to stick with you when your body's trying to relax. But the air is very clear now. You can see up to a very clear sky with several stars blinking into view.
Well, we still haven't found a guide yet. So, we went to that. I went to that one tavern, so I didn't find anybody there to talk to.
Would it be worth checking around the docks?
Okay, so
Yeah, that was what my insight was before for looking around the docks, but I rolled low, so.
all right, so there is a couple of places. So you talking about like over this area, or over in this area, or over in this area?
I was actually thinking of the area to the south because it looks like that, based off the fact that there's like
Over here.
areas where they keep animals. No. Further.
Outside the walls.
Like
Oh, right.
right there. Because those are smaller ships. And those would be the ships that would go up rivers and so forth like that. And there's also appears to be animals and so forth like that. So maybe caravans go out that way.
Where are you getting the idea of animals there?
From that.
I don't see what you're looking at. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, cool. So, alright. Based on your sorcerer, you are completely right in that these being dinosaur pens. So, most of the beasts of burden in the city were chained out over here, and they're penned up at night. You can see some ankylosaurs and triceratops between these. The triceratops' main horn blunted at the front. Oh me. You also see also some dinosaurs with painted racing stripes across their scales, as these also seem to be where some of the races are. You see like a bit of a private segmented pen for one individual Tyrannosaurus Rex that seems to have had a special pen just for himself. But other than that, there are several pens with a few other dinosaurs in.
Welcome,
And
Jurassic Park.
yeah,
Can I use this as an opportunity to study the book more, so I can do like history checks later if I run into these types of things,
yeah, absolutely.
or insight checks to recall what I read, just to kind of like continue studying the monster manual as we're seeing these things for
Right.
the first time?
So yeah, you can recall that the ankylosaur has a, as you can see in front of you, has a big bald tail that it uses to whip its tail across and smack somebody with a protective back to it. You can see the Triceratops has a renowned set of horns that it uses to gorge its opponents with a formidable charge. You get the you get the idea about it, which is herbivores, omnivores, and what have you. But
Right.
yeah,
I'm just trying to increase my understanding of the beasts.
yeah, no, that's totally fine. So this district east of the city is populated by animal trainers and river folk. So your expedition up that river might be done with somebody here, at the least. So it's also got some lodgings of some sort, very rough and tumble, as there seems to be some more shadier people around here that seem to be quietly milling about, not causing a fuss, but just quietly separate from the rest of the main city.
Yeah, my type of people. Let's find a riverboat captain or a
Yes,
riverboat guide.
Let's find the dock master, who probably would be able to speak common. Hopefully.
Okay, so you go across to some of the docks. There's a few animal trainers that are herding some like dinosaurs as they're pulling ropes that are lifting cargo out of the ships and onto the mainland, and some are approached. And what are you asking them, basically?
I want to know if any ships go to the Altani Basin. Maybe there are some fishermen or some river traders or people who take supplies to a particular settlement, or any boats that are going that way.
Right, so you're not under the impression you found a dockmaster right now, at least. Hang on a sec, though. Hang on a sec. Yeah, you said you were after a harbour master. Okay, another area. No worries about that. Yep, no worries about that. Leave that be.
I think at first we need to find out if anybody knows where the basin is, because we don't have any idea.
Yes, I'm specifically asking if there are any ships that go to that basin, because obviously we want to go there, right? That's the most likely, I think.
Well, we have several different objectives. Can you pull the world map back up again for us?
Okay.
Let's have a little party conference.
All right.
So there's basically 4 different things that we know right now.
Oh, by the way, just as something to teach you with, if you go to the left and you use the paintbrush and you go to the text tool, you might feel like describing a certain goal by using the text tool to say something like, here, go here. It's hard to read. In fact, it's impossible to read. So there, if I put it over here, you can see little notes you make for yourself there. You are welcome to draw on this map and annotate it as you see fit.
So, from my understanding so far, as we talk within our party, we have a couple of different objectives. One is Mesro, and I'll share the information that I found out about it, about how there's a massive illusion there, and that it's not a ruins, and that it's intact.
Or that's how the rumor goes, at least.
What? Oh, that's the rumor, right? Quote unquote. And then there was also the there was something over here with a Naga.
River Tath.
Yeah, the River Tath, and there was a wise Naga. That might be a good place to go, because that might be able to get us more information. There's the hidden basin, which is somewhere around here, and then there's also this person named Kimber, who we probably need to find out who that is. But that's about what I understand it right now. So that's really 4 different objectives.
5, actually.
Oh, what's the other one?
I didn't mention it to the party, but there's a skyship missing.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
It was mentioned.
Unfortunately, you have no idea where that might be.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, there's 2 places that we know of where they're at, and then there's 2 things that we don't know, and then there's a missing person. So I think that it would probably make the most sense to go to one of the 2 places that we know where it's at first, before we just go schlepping around the desert or the jungle for days at a time, at the very first time that we actually go into the jungle when we don't know what we're going to encounter. So we should probably secure some sort of boat, either to Mesro or this Naga thing over here.
Mesro would be the closest of our
It would be, yes. It'd also be a very easy trip by boat to get there.
Well, we could pretty much walk there. We would follow the river to here, and then just go southeast
I'm
to here.
assuming that yellowish and brownish means mountains, correct?
Okay, here it is. Here, 1 hex is 10 miles.
Now, yellowish and brownish are not mountains. You have an example of mountains right here. No.
Okay, I mean
What-
higher
what-
elevation.
What you have, no, not even that. What you have listed there And is there no key at the bottom of the map? No, I guess not. What you have listed there is known activity of undead.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So-
what the little skull means?
Yes, so the lighter patch of yellow means some minor undead activity, and then where the deeper yellow is where there's been reports of tremendous undead activity.
Oh, let's
What if-
walk right through that.
what if we were to get a boat and then sail around the thing here to Port Castigliar?
Yeah, Castigliar.
Castigliar, right? We could go there, and then we're just a short walk down to Mesro.
Yeah, you could
Yes.
absolutely.
It's about 30 miles.
I
30
mean,
miles. That's
as
enough
as this sort of stuff goes, this is a very safe trip because you can just get aboard a merchant ship, and it would absolutely do a trade run across this place to go there, rather than try to deal with even 50 miles of trekking through the jungle to get supplies through. So you could absolutely do a sea trip around the Bay of Chult over that way if you so wanted. You may have to pay to get on the ship, or perhaps scurry aboard as freeloaders, but all the same, that would be a very safe trip to do. Or at least the safest you can imagine.
Do you guys have any thoughts or opinions?
I think that's a good start. Let's start there.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as well.
Start with
Yeah, why
measure.
not?
All right, find us a boat,
Well, I'm gonna
barbarian man.
I'm going to turn to Jasmo, and I'm going to ask her if she is willing to accompany us on these other parts of our trip.
She's going to be reluctant on that front, as she's like, I have no business over there, and we've only just met. I really rather not put my life in any remote source of danger, unless it's to do with these visions. That is why I don't want to go out there. I mean, if it's not going to be that, then I honestly have no interest.
Okay,
Maybe
well-
she'll go with us to Port Castigliar and just hang out there where it's safe until we call for her as we do our first expedition.
She's not going to do that either, because that just takes her further away. If you're not going to take her there, she's going to try and find others that can in the meantime.
Where does she want to go?
She wants to go to the River Taff. No, that's wrong. She wants to go find the Aldani Basin and follow
How
up
does
on.
she know that that's in the wrong direction? to
Because she
basically
knows
be
that
right
the
next to
general
Mesro, for all
area.
we know.
She knows that the general area is around here.
Oh,
Well, we could
Okay.
do the Naga on the way.
we
That's
could do
another
the Naga
option.
on the way. And if she's out there with us and we just don't tell her, she's gonna have to follow us. So why don't we just head down that way and she'll have to follow?
I mean,
She's
take a-
local to this area, correct?
Okay, so you guys have certain towns IRL, right? There is a wildlife habitat somewhere within the vicinity of, let's measure it out, 200 miles of the city you live. I'd like to ask, how far do you guys walk outside your city where you live? Within
Yeah,
the
about
vicinity of 200 miles.
Yeah, we should take a riverboat to Camp Vengeance and then trek relatively to where the basin is, where she thinks the basin is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
direct.
zoom in close to this last point right here, you do see that it either thins to nothing or the river does continue a little bit.
Well, one of our main
Uh,
goals is to find a guide. If she's a local of this area, I'm going to ask her if she knows of any guides that know the area very well.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So, she basically is like, yeah, we just have to go looking around, I guess. And, yeah. So basically, I would like a investigation check from somebody with no, actually, you know what? I will say that she says that at this point it is pretty late. There won't be anybody that will looking to be doing dealings yet, so it's better to start this up tomorrow morning.
Yes, I agree. We should take a rest. and
Rest
then
up
tomorrow
and
morning-
look first thing in the morning.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So, you guys rest up back at the Thunderous Lizard. It is an uncomfortable night of rest. And some of you are able to deal with it better than others, but it's still a mighty uncomfortable situation there. But you rest, and the following morning comes up, and you begin to beat the streets to try and find something. Now I will have that investigation check with advantage, please.
From anybody or
Yeah,
everybody?
from somebody that's looking for a guide. Okay, so David, you're not having much luck as you have a terrible night of sleep beforehand. Okay, Fighter. So you wander around, getting a bit impatient with maybe what's going on, as you do see a little something. Yeah, you see this. So you see a little leaflet
Okay.
that's listed around, and it says, "If you need a guide to get you through the jungle alive, look no further. I was born in the jungle. I know its dangers well, and how best to avoid them. Should you choose me, you may rest assured that your party is in safe hands. I charge 5 gold coins per day, and require a 30-day payment up front. For those adventurers who aid me in a personal quest, I will waive my fee and guide them to places no one else has found. This quest will take us to Firefinger, the evil petrifolk that roost atop Firefinger stole a wooden mask from me, and I want it back." That's a sort of advertisement you see somewhere around the place.
Where is Firefinger at?
I was just looking for that myself.
So
not near the peak of fire.
it might not be a place you know of.
I would say this is definitely our best lead as far as the guide goes, and
Yeah, I'm going to take the thing off the wall and show it to you guys.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
So you have an impression of a woman that you're looking for. Yeah, she's got some orangey red hair going on, a few scratch marks across her face from what you can see in the portrait that was added to the picture, so others may find her. But yeah, you look around, and you finally find her, and you may roleplay as you see fit. You are now talking to Azaka Stormfang.
All right, I ask her how far away this Firefinger place is. Yeah, how long is it going to take us to get there?
I was rather expecting to be dealing with some other quest, but I'm glad to hear that you were willing for the fee to be waived. Firefinger is found right over here, and she will make a
that's
point.
right in line with where we're going.
Make a point of showing it on your map. Boom. Whoop. Oh, almost. Try that again. Boom. There we go. There you go. So
Maybe we should go back to the original plan then.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, that's not too far out of a way. It could be worthwhile.
Yeah. So anybody ask any questions?
Would you be willing to go to Mesro with us if we go to Firefinger with you?
It's only a small skip across the jungle, and after I've dealt with my issues, my tasks, I don't see much of a reason not to allow that. I think that sounds like a very fair deal. I would be cautious of the undead activity there, but given that we have a cleric between us, I figure our chances are pretty good. Trust me, and we will get through it reasonably well.
Can we also go to the Altani Basin after we have done with that? Would you waive your fee for that as well?
What's that?
Would you be willing to waive the fee as well on a separate excursion to go to the Altani Basin as well?
So,
Well, I understand it.
listen, I'll cut it to you like this. If you help me with my job, I won't charge you to pay me up front. And you can pay me day by day, so you're as efficient with me as you need be.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds like a fair deal to me.
Okay. Right then. So, your plan is to then take or walk your way to Firefinger then, up the river to Ricky.
No,
Right, I'll probably take a boat.
It'll take a boat.
Okay, so the last time you were dealing around the place, there wasn't a lot of interest in dealing with you. It was late. But what's more, you get the impression that nobody is taking casual fishing trips 50, 60, 110 miles away, you know? So it's probably something of an excursion that you're going to need to hire out if you want to have that set up for you. Otherwise, you're walking.
How about boats for rent?
Might be
Do have a
possible.
sailor.
We do, yes. And I have skill at water vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do as well.
All right, so it
Can't
all
think of
depends on
budget.
if you can find somebody to rent the boat from.
All right, let's once again try to find the portmaster then.
Okay, yeah. So, back to map of Port Nyanzaru. You ask around for a port master, and you do get information towards one such guy, a harbor master. And outside here, you get a whole bulletin of other guides through the wilderness. This being back over here. And here you see plenty going around. The harbour master is a half-gold dragon named Syndra. Hang on. Yeah, so you know that apparently he's a half-gold dragon. Half-gold meaning that, unlike a dragonborn, as part of some accident or some sort of magical tinkering or tapering, or when a dragon has had a union with a human, the offspring has resulted in a half-dragon, such as this. You go to his office, and there's clerks there to say that they don't know where he is right now. They don't suspect anything shady about it. He's just always off and around doing something else. But they will take a message.
I would also ask them if, well, we need a boat to rent. One that doesn't leak, one that can go up just big enough to go up a river and take a party of 10 at the most.
Oh, right. They do say, like, right, this might be an issue that does require the harbour master. Usually you'll deal with any of the owners of the ships, and he will know all of them off by hand. How they recommend that you guys wait for about 6 hours, and by then he's bound to have come back into the office.
Do we really want to hang around here for 6 hours?
Well, you could be back within 6 hours.
We need a boat. We won't get that far on foot in 6 hours. So
Can we determine how long it would take to go on foot versus how long it would take to go by boat?
Okay,
Would our
certainly.
sailor know this?
So-
Between me and the sailor, I guess.
So the first thing that you want to keep in mind is that you can continue to have somebody travel the boat while others are sleeping. So firstly, you can travel through night with somebody keeping watch and whatnot. If you travel on foot, you're at a casual walking space of about 4 to 5 miles per hour. You travel from like 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, so that's about 9 hours. I'm going to bring up the calculator for this. 9 times 4 is about 36 miles. So with the heat and the density of the jungle keeping things locked, it would take you about... You see this on the map, this arrow?
But yes, terrain does not slow us down if we're in a jungle.
I beg to differ.
Well, I'm a ranger with favored terrain jungle, and it says that, according to the book, the terrain would not slow us down.
Does it say us or does it say you?
Let me look.
It's likely...
Difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. Natural explorer.
Alright then. Well, fantastic then. Then there is just the awkwardness of avoiding the undead, but even then, you would still sleep at night, and even then, if you were at 5 miles per hour, so a fast pace, you can make about 45 miles, and you could make it about here, rather than here. So you can make a 10-mile difference, basically.
Right.
And again...
I think we're still wanting the boat, regardless.
I mean, the boat's just a better option, right? I guess it's just going to be a cost thing. Is it how much it's worth or how much it'll cost us?
Basically...
I try to persuade them to be a little more helpful about finding the harbor master.
Predators that would kill you on land, that normally don't swim, you avoid as a bonus. Plants that may otherwise infect you, won't because you're on water, another bonus. All this stuff. But yes, Mr. Ranger, you will not have to worry about difficult terrain in the jungle.
Right. Okay. I mean, I think the boat is the best option.
Okay.
Depending on the cost.
Now, in terms of speeding up the harbour master, it's simply a method of waiting out the time, as they don't have any idea where he is, as he usually is running around the city dealing with hundreds of disputes.
As a little off thing, I want to pull Jasmo aside and talk to her.
Jasmo is back at the Temple of Savras, as she is committed to the sake that when you guys are ready to go to the Aldani Basin, which is a different river than what you're planning to go along, then she'll be ready for you. But other than that, she's not interested in any other venture other than that.
I just wanted to talk to her and reassure her that, cleric to cleric, that I will, we are going a different direction, but we will definitely look into this matter and stop whatever's going on at the Aldani Basin.
All right then. Well, she'll take that, and she'll appreciate the sentiment. Anyway, so yeah, basically, do you guys wait the 6 hours?
So Rocky has been riding on my back this whole time. I'm gonna wander the city for the 6 hours we're waiting and let him have some exercise.
Rocky is your raccoon, and your familiar.
Correct.
Oh, you have a raccoon? Sweet.
Yeah, you've been rocking with a raccoon lady, as she seems, for all intents and purposes. Got some blackened face makeup going on, and again, joined by a scurrying little raccoon that has already amassed a good number of flowers, odd pieces of metal and tokens and what have you, and yeah, he's already been a scavenging little fella, I imagine.
Yep.
But yeah. So you let him go for a walk with him. You can see that some streets are being prepared to be closed off, as they seem to be getting ready for the races tomorrow. Some people are checking around the walkways to make sure there's no sort of spike traps or there's no sort of caltrops that would hinder a dinosaur's movement and what have you. So it does seem like they're getting ready for a big race tomorrow.
Okay.
Is there anything else you might be specifically looking out for?
Well, I never found out if I found a language primer.
Oh, you did not quite so much.
Even with that amazing roll?
It was a crit, and even then, it's just something that hasn't really been made, I imagine. It's not something commonly dealt with. I guess there was something of a beginner's guide for you.
Foreigners who know the language.
Yeah, I guess if you ever check back in with Wakanga Otamu, he had something of a beginner's phase, but he does warn you that it's known to be very difficult to pronounce some of these things and can often lead to rude interpretations, so use at your own risk. Okay?
Alrighty.
Alright, but yeah, Miss Druid, was there anything else you were hoping to find while you were walking around with your raccoon?
No, we're just on a casual walk. The dinosaur thing is enough.
Yeah, so you continue walking around. You see another cat person in a dinosaur outfit chasing children, and the raccoon decides to jump on that person and start killing the dinosaur, as they reckon his chances of actually taking on this guy in a suit seem pretty good. And it actually looks pretty good. The raccoon is causing a bit of a scene and starts to look more terrifying than the dinosaur-dressed man. You got any response to this? The raccoon causing a bit of mischief?
I'll try and catch him.
So as a familiar, he responds to and already senses that you want him to come back as he does so, and the children are all much more a fan of the raccoon than they were of the reptile-dressed guy now, and they all want to ask about him and ask what kind of crazy creature this is, as they've never seen a beast like this before.
I'll explain that he's 2 years old. He's a raccoon. He's from the Chandlewood. It's not much else to raccoons.
Yeah. They're all very interested, and they continue to hear all about him and his habitat and whatnot. But yes, eventually the harbour master comes back exhausted. When he gets in, he closes the door and sighs in a slumping manner against it as he notices you guys waiting there, and he rubs his face in a tired manner, and he goes, "Yes, what are you here for? Am I here for anything particular?" And the clerks speak up for him as they say that these people are wondering about hiring out a boat to go up the river Turkey. And he goes, "Oh, right. I can set something up for you if you need. I can arrange a meeting with one of the boatmasters. He's usually known to rent out his ship. He may want to accompany you, but yeah, there's people that this could be done with." He does also mention that he goes, you looking for work at all?
What did you have in mind?
Well, if you're feeling up for it, and maybe avoid these when considering people to get ships from, so I can tell you, not from here. There's 3 pirate captains that are attacking merchant ships, heading to and from the Bay of Chult. So the only way in and out of Port Nyanzaru is the Bay of Chult, and there seems to be pirates that are keeping these seas under threat. and catch up. Pardon me. Here we go. Yeah. The pirate ships are called Dragonfang, the Emerald Eye, and the Sturge. And if you can down any of these pirate ships, there's a bounty on each one downed. Oh, hang on. No, that's captured and brought to port. Pardon me. Yeah, so if you can capture a ship and bring it back to port, it's worth 2,000 gold pieces for each ship that you do. And if you can bring back the captain of each ship, there's an extra 500 gold pieces in it for whoever deals with that as well.
What's the name of the first vessel again?
Dragonfang.
We will look out for that, but we need a ship to rent first. And once we deal with some other things first, we will, or if we happen to run into those ships, we will definitely look out to take them out.
He gives a reluctant sigh, but recedes that, this is going to be your guys' quest, and, he's going to have to leave these official affairs to locals, so he leaves it at that. And he talks to one of the clerks to, get a porter out to one of the other people that he knows that will be able to provide a ship. For a fee you'll have to discuss, but a porter does run out. He retires to a little work office he owns, and he waves at somebody will come deal with you soon. A porter comes back with a gruff-looking, toothless, elderly man who smiles past a gruff-looking demeanor, which is a bit of a shock. So he looks a bit insane, is what I'd say sums him up. But the clerk stands up and is like, I'll be an interpreter for you. Although your guide, Stormfang, could also interpret for you. But basically, it's time to haggle for your ship. So there's 7 passengers. 1 for himself makes 8. And you'll be going about 110 miles. If I can find vehicles and transport. Where is that page? Where is that page? Where is that page? Looking for a page now. Here we go. Yeah. So, trying to find a ship that isn't too crazy. Okay, so basically, he advises you that there aren't any sailing ships that's because that's too big for the rivers. What everyone does is they use canoes. So, what you'll basically need is buy a canoe for the river and then sail it up. Stormfang already says that she's able to sail a canoe, so she will be able to guide you up this portion without the need of renting out a sailing ship. You just gotta get a canoe.
Just gotta get a canoe?
Yeah.
Okay. We would need more than 1 canoe if we're going as a party of 7. We'd probably need. At most, a canoe would probably carry 3 people, 3 or 4 people. The big ones.
I guess it all depends on the size of these canoes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, these canoes, canoes can be purchased for 50 gold pieces, and it holds about 6 of you. It's identical to a rowboat. What was that? Hello?
Say again?
Yeah, I was talking. Somebody was trying to say something.
I don't know. I heard it too. I don't know who.
Well, whatever.
Someone's just gonna have to sit in someone else's lap. That's all there is to it.
All right. Well,
Or,
well,
you know.
no, because the canoe will probably sink if we put too much weight in it.
Yeah,
It'll
you don't
probably
want that.
be-
Share it between
Can I
like
get a second-hand one?
maybe. He does do the courtesy of telling you that the merchant to talk to is a lady. I'm trying to discern the gender as it's coming to me. Is a God damn it. Is a gladiator part-timing as a trader called Ekene Afa. And she is a legend among the common rabble of a gladiator. But she is able to sell you a canoe, apparently. Yeah, apparently they can. That doesn't seem right. But whatever. Yep, so she can set you up with a canoe, and he gives you the courtesy of pointing you out where she is. You find her. Do you buy 1 or 2 canoes?
I think we established that we need at least 2.
We need at least 2.
Right. And you can man each with a team of 3, which is more than possible. So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I am willing to put in 47 gold to help out the party, so I'll pay for most of one.
Okay.
Somebody else
First,
put
let
the
me
three in.
use my persuasion skill to see if I can reduce the price of these canoes.
Sure.
Yes, definitely.
Can I do a perception to make sure they're sort of seaworthy as well?
Certainly. But it's river worthy,
I
rather.
will make the perception since
Yeah.
I got the. There we go. With a 19.
So they are
plus
definitely
CLA.
worthy, as they're like folded up things. What are you trying to perceive, fighter?
Just that they're, good quality. We're not going to get ripped off.
Oh, and George
You
was
don't want to
also
buy boats with holes in.
yeah. George was also doing that check, but yeah, they are definitely worthy. And as to your persuasion, all right, no. So yeah, sorcerer. She seems a fan of your charm in particular. Seems like she's interested by your culture a bit, and she understands.
I'm a rather attractive half elf.
Yes, indeed. And although it definitely looks like she can absolutely take you, yeah, she seems to like you, and she seems like you are a good sport. So she's going to reduce the price to 40 gold pieces each.
Excellent. All right. Well, I have 47 gold pieces left.
Let's see. I have. Yeah.
Why don't we just
47 as
pull
well,
our
so-
resources together and buy these 2 canoes?
I'm broke. I bought a
He's
book.
broke. The ranger is broke. The rest of us will pitch in.
Yeah, I'll pitch in some.
Also, you got to remember, you have to get 5 gold pieces a time to a day to pay for your guide. So, like,
Yeah.
if you
Well, since he bought a book, I'm going to go ahead and buy one of the boats outright. 40
okay, yep, you are in possession of a canoe that can house 6. Now,
Somebody else has got
just to give you an impression of
guide.
your sort of journey, you will have to be traveling something like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. 4 days worth of travel, and then the same back. But, she may waive the fees as promised once you get to Firefinger. So, you're looking at about 20 gold set aside to pay for her daily troubles.
Well, there's how much I have.
Okay. I believe you. So, you can totally
No, I'm
cover...
trying to get us to all tell what we
Yeah,
have so we can pull it together and figure out what our resources are.
Okay.
It would cost if the cleric's going to outright buy one of the canoes. Then for the
Everybody
other
took
4
free
of us
gold
besides
off
the ranger.
because they were paying for the inn, weren't they?
Correct.
They
No,
did.
you
Yes, we
as a
did.
group paid free gold. The cost was actually
Oh.
5 silver per head.
Oh, okay. That makes a difference.
So say 49.
Whew. Hmm. David, did you make sure to add your background currency in there as well?
Oh, yes. There.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
How much is the background currency? Because I did not add that either.
Depends on
Usually
the background.
10. Depends on your background.
I spent mine on the shield, so
Okay. So anyway, that's enough money between you for me to feel assured that somebody's able to pay for something. So I'm confident with that. Okay. So anyway, who has paid for 1 canoe?
Dralian.
cleric.
Okay, yeah. And so, Dralian, he's the only one to not mention any money.
That
Yep.
leaves me with
Because he
9
doesn't have
left.
any anymore.
I have 9 currency left.
Cool.
I buy the canoe out of the impression that I buy the canoe, you guys help pay for the guide, because I will not be able to afford to.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So Dralian empties his pockets and he buys 1 canoe. Who buys the other?
We're gonna. I
can
believe
buy
we're
the
gonna
other.
split- Yeah, between the druid, the barbarian, the fighter, and the sorcerer, which should cost each
Who
of
chips
us...
in what?
I think it would be 10 each. There's 4.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll pay 10.
Okay. So mark that down respectively. You do not have to keep typing it back out, but that's fine as well. But mark that down respectively. You have your 2nd canoe.
Who all paid 10?
The sorcerer.
Me.
The fighter.
And barbarian.
Okay.
Now we're buying these canoes, we're not renting them, right?
Correct. These are yours to keep, and they are very neat and can be folded up. And yeah, I'll just grab a little something on canoes. Why can't I grab a little something on canoes? Are you kidding me? What in the what? Ugh. Oh goodness me, I can't find anything about. I can't get a picture. Oh my goodness, whatever. Anyway, you have your 2 canoes and you have your guide. You're basically ready and set to go. So the 6 hours took quite a bit out of your day, and you know where the betting places are for the dinosaur racing. If you wanted, you could grab some bets, deal with that in the following day, and then head off after the end of the race.
Sounds good to me. I'd like to
Sounds
go buy
good.
some rations as well.
Buy
Take a
some
look.
what?
Some rations.
Rations, right. So yeah, you can definitely buy some. The same amount as you buy them for in the player's handbook. Stormfang recommends that you buy some insect repellent, and you also buy a rain catcher, so you can gather up water from the rain as it comes down.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
how
I
much does
will.
the rain catcher cost?
Akene also has rain catchers, and she sells each for 1 gold. This is basically the replacement to your water skin, as it is a sort of carryable little tarp that collects the rain that falls over you and collects it up into a little pouch.
Now, do we need to worry about rations, or are we going to abstract that out?
You're going to. You are going to worry about rations. Yes.
Okay.
1 ration a day. If you don't have rations, things start getting a bit awkward.
I can change my spells between rests, correct?
Yes, you can.
So I can create food and water.
Oh, that's easy.
Yes, you can. You can use it. You can get that spell prepared, and I believe you can cast it as a ritual spell.
Hold on, let me check.
My background makes it so I can find food and water for myself and 5 other people once a day.
Okay, yeah, you can absolutely do that. You can go out and make sure each time you're traveling on the canoe, you beach up and you go hunting for food in a place you're not too sure, risk some dangers, or you can just like have the water already covered as you're just in the canoe, you know. So you absolutely are able and can find food and water wherever you are. There's just the sort of time commitments and the risks of getting back and beaching up, of actually doing that. But if you spot something along the way that's like a overhanging mango tree, then you'll be the first to spot it for sure.
Well, I can create 45 pounds of food and 30 gallons.
Yeah,
of,
so between you all, you're all covered.
The insect repellent is the real thing. How much does that cost?
So insect repellent, a block of it costs 1 silver piece, and when it's lit, it burns for 8 hours and repels insects from 20 feet from you.
All right. Well, I will purchase 1 gold's worth plus the rain catcher.
So yeah, you do this, and this stuff you can buy it as a sort of incense, or you can buy it as a salve that you rub on yourself. The salve is waterproof and won't wash off in rain. Which do you get?
The one that we can rub on ourselves.
Yeah. So you get one of those for 1 gold piece. It's a gourd that has the salve in. It has 20 applications, each one lasting about a day, and it keeps all those nasty mosquitoes away.
Just buy like a bunch of them.
Well, you don't have
I
to
bought
carry
mine.
them around.
You guys should also buy yours.
All right, I'll buy one.
All right,
I'll buy
awesome.
one as
I have my own built-in bug zapper.
I'll buy some bug spray stuff.
You didn't mean to shocking grasp, did you?
I was just showing what I was talking about.
Right. Bug zapper, gotcha. Okay, so everybody deals with their expenditures for the evening. And you all go back to the Thunderous Lizard. You pay another 3 gold pieces as a group for your night there. Or 5 silver pieces each. And you get to like enjoy a bit of the evening, and while this is going on, you can put some bets in for the dinosaur racing that will be happening tomorrow.
Yes. What are the different ones that we can bet on?
So there is Big Honker, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, that's the most likely to win. And this is going of order of most likely to win to less likely to win. And once you ask me, I'll tell you the odds. So beneath that is Ubtal's Favorite, a Triceratops on a streak. Beneath that there's Banana Candy, a well-trained Hadrosaurus. Beneath that there's Bone Cruncher, a young, ill-tempered Allosaurus. Grung Stomper, a young Ankylosaur. Scarback, a young Tyrannosaurus Rex, on its last race. Nasty Boy, an Allosaurus with a famous trainer on it. Jungle Princess, I can't say that. It's a little spiny, 2-legged creature, a Deinonychus, with a frightened jockey that seems afraid of the creature. And finally, at the bottom, Mountain Thunder, an aging Dimetrodon.
What is the odds on Banana Candy?
It's a 3-1 of Banana Candy winning, meaning that if it wins, you will receive back a third of what you paid.
All right. I will put 15 on banana candy.
Okay. Keep a note of that for me. So this is for the odds tomorrow, and you put your odds on banana candy winning. Okay. You're at least betting that they'll win one of the races, and again, you'll get a third of your money back if it wins. And you put 15 on, so yeah. Anybody else do any betting?
I'll put 5 on Scarback.
All right, yeah. So that one is a 1 to 2. If it wins, you'll get double your money. Anybody else?
Drowny's not interested. Drowny's not interested in betting or the races, so he's going to be meditating and praying to Tempest.
Okay. Still, that doesn't mean anybody else can't enjoy the fun. Anybody else? Anybody else? You can say no.
Can I study my
No.
book to determine an advantage here on who would be most likely to win?
Okay, so yeah, you can absolutely do that. So your book definitely mentions like speeds and also mentions how thick and like girthy and like the kind of like constitution of these animals. And so I've got a couple of things here. I've got speed. I've got sort of difficulty to handle. I've got like ability to take a hit, actually damaging shit, and I've also got how great their stamina is, you know? So what are you most interested in? What's the key stat you want to find out?
How long is the race? What's the distance?
The distance is about 300 feet.
Okay. And do the dinosaurs kind of fight at each other at all? Have we figured that out yet? Or do they just run?
They don't fight to the death, but they nip and they hurt each other along the way to deal with one another.
Okay. How fast is the Triceratops?
So the Triceratops can get somewhere between 50 to 75 feet per round.
And how fast is the Tyrannosaurus?
50 to 100 feet.
Right. And does the Tyrannosaurus have the strongest attacking ability?
It does indeed.
And how's the handling on a Tyrannosaurus?
The most difficult.
Who's the jockey?
Someone that's not important
Okay.
to this. Anything else?
What are the other types of dinosaurs that are racing?
Allosaurus, Dionysius, Dimetrodon, Hadrosaurus, and you already mentioned Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus.
Okay, so the Allosaurus is probably similar to the T-Rex, but just not as large.
Correct.
How are they easier to handle?
So it's easier than the Tyrannosaurus to handle.
What's
It's
their speed?
a little bit less than the Tyrannosaurus.
All right, I'll go with the Allosaurus.
Okay.
10 gold.
So the Allosaurus that's racing, there's two. There is the Grung Stomper, which is you'll make back what you spend, or there is the Nasty Boy with a famous trainer that is a 1 to 3 odds of winning.
I'll go with the Nasty Boy.
How much are you going to invest?
10 gold.
Alright, cool. So then, you guys have a sleep, and then the next day comes. I know exactly what I want to put on for this. What? No. Hang on. Where is it? Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. Where is it? God damn it. I wish this was easier to find stuff with. Trying Trying to find something worthwhile. What does this sound like? Yes. There we go.
That works.
Yes. That's a lucky pick. So, it's race day. The Allosaurus, the Tyrannosaurus, the Triceratops, Bone Cruncher, Grung Stomper, Scarback, Nasty Boy, they all get lined up. The race begins right at this point, over towards the Temple of Saloon, and it looks like the trek goes for a certain bit of a loop around this section of the city. So actually much further than 300 feet, as you would imagine. Maybe it's done in portions of 300 feet with somebody winning at each part. But all the same, the contestants line up and then the race begins to go on. So, I will do a couple of rolls. So, who made bets?
I made a bet.
What was who's talking?
Ranger made a bet.
Okay, Ranger.
Fighter.
Okay, Ranger. What was your bet on?
Nasty Boy.
Right. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So, Nasty Boy did a little bit of contending, but the other Allosaurus seems to keep up in tow with him for a little bit longer. And then when it comes to the final part where your winnings would be made, it takes a little bit of a bite out of the other one's side, scaring the trainer a bit as the two kind of limp to the side of the racetrack unepically. Unfortunately, you don't make any winnings today. Who's next? The fighter. What did you make a bet on?
Scarback.
Right. So unfortunately, the young Tyrannosaurus Rex seems very distracted. It makes its way. It just carries the rear basically, and it doesn't seem to make much of an impression past that. It has one sprint in it past several buildings, but then stops at a merchant's shop that's locked up but smells somewhat interesting to it, and basically it does not finish the race. Who else is next?
I did. I
Right.
I bet on banana candy. Go banana candy!
Yeah. Okay, so Banana Candy, the Hadrosaurus, keeps a good pace behind the typical crowd-pleasing Tyrannosaurus Rex that leads the headway, or at least dominates the track. But it does a little bit of a nip behind the large Tyrannosaurus's heel, and the Tyrannosaurus was easily baited into looking around behind it to deal with the Hadrosaurus. But by the time it does, Banana Candy comes up around from the side and then takes the lead, and the Tyrannosaurus is still chasing its own tail, wondering where it's gone, and by the time it finally catches up, the Hadrosaurus had taken the lead and won that set. And so you...
Yes! And the crowd goes wild.
You win back 5 gold pieces of the 15 that you spent. Oh, there we go. Was anybody else doing bets?
No.
Okay then. Well then, that was a bit of excitement. Oh boy. Okay, so then, after a little bit of dinosaur racing, everybody's ready to go. Stormfang asks for... Oh, hang on. Hang on. Yes. Right. I don't need to... Where's just the handout? Hang on. I had a... Shit. I should have given this first thing. Damn it. Okay. Yeah. I got a handout here, and it covers some of the stats that with your thing you can see. But yeah, in your handbook you see Port Nyanzaru Dinosaur Racing. You have an image there that should show you some of the dinosaur racing going on. And you can see the painted outlines of the dinosaurs as they're racing underneath bridges and what have you. But very well. Stormfang asks for her 5 gold pieces up ahead for the day that she'll be taking you guys. Who pays her?
I'll give her 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I will give her 1 as well.
Alright, that just leaves 3 other people to give her 1.
All right, I'll hand in 1 as well.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Alright. I think that leaves 1 more person to give 1 more gold piece.
Drowley, I'll give 1 gold piece.
There we go. You've paid her for the day she's traveling. You guys go back to this side of the port. Yeah, you go that side of the port, and you start making your way down south, and you begin your expedition into the jungle of Chult, following the river Tiriki. And I will end that session there.